7 o'clock, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna get.
Good evening, good evening. Place here. It's now 7 o'clock, Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. Calling this meeting of the Chelmsford Conservation Commission to order. My name is Carl Bischoff. I'm the chair of the commission. We'll be following the published and posted agenda. The meeting is both in person and through the Zoom. In the case of the Zoom not working properly, we will continue the meeting in person only. This meeting is being broadcast and recorded by Chelmsford Telemedia and will be available on their website and on YouTube. We have a full quorum, a full house tonight, and we do have an adjustment on our agenda, but we'll get to it very quickly. So let's jump right into our liaison report from the planning board. Hello, Chris. Good evening.
Good evening, Chris LaValle, Chair of the Planning Board. So last meeting, we ended our zoning amendments or zoning article here, public hearings. We passed all of those to recommendations to town meeting. Town council has reviewed them, and select board, I believe, is signing the warrant on tomorrow at their meeting that was postponed from Monday. This coming meeting is going to be a fairly short meeting. We've got hopefully hearing from Brian Latina for the citizens petition for the zoning change. We've got the definitive subdivision public hearing, probably closing that out for the 191, 185 Riverneck Road. We will be talking about progress on the managed growth strategy. And then also starting to talk about our planning for next town meeting, zoning changes and regulation changes. So we'll be prioritizing those at that meeting. That's about it.
Questions, comments? Very good.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. All right, and Peter, you had a few things you wanted to say about the Suasco climate resilience study.
Yeah.
Good evening, Peter.
Hi, good evening. I guess, David, the Conservation Commission was invited, and I got nominated, I guess that's what happened, to participate in a new project looking at the whole Concord River watershed, which, as you guys know, is a 33 communities starting, I don't know where it even starts, Framingham, all the way down through Maynard, Hudson, and by us to the Concord River, or to the Merrimack River. And 2/3 of our town drains into this watershed. So the new study is a state climate grant. And the awardees is a team of the town of Concord, the Boston Regional Planning Agency, and this watershed group called ORS. And they ended up inviting me onto a steering committee, so 4 times a year I have some input to the study goals, and they're at the beginning where they're asking for feedback from the 33 member communities on any sort of information needs or data would benefit our town programs. So to put a finer point on it, so far they seem to be planning, it's a 2-year study, so they're just at the early stages. They seem to be focusing on flooding, sound familiar, and culverts. And the idea that the culverts are failing and they're part of the flooding problem, but also a habitat question. So there's plenty of stuff written down I can share, so if anybody's interested, why don't you chat with me offline? And if you have any ideas now, great. I will say that I think I got invited onto the steering committee after the first meeting because I was one of the few people on the initial call talking about things other than flooding or culverts. I was talking about what's going to happen to our habitat or invasives or, other conservation issues. But the more I think about it, and I've chatted a little bit with Dave and Evan Belansky, the more I think about it is, flooding and culverts actually are 2 of our big problems, and they're a problem particularly on the culverts because they're all broken and we don't have enough money to fix them all. So you can argue that culverts does have a huge impact on habitat because if you got, a pipe up in the air one that doesn't meet the stream crossing standards, then you're blocking habitat. So fixing that costs a lot of money. It costs more money than, so it all sort of ties together. But I can share more. Anybody wants to, I can send you information or we can talk offline. And so, yeah.
Appreciate that you're spending your time on this. I know it's 4 times a year isn't crazy, but it's something,
Yeah. Well, what's interesting for the commission is I get to work with experts really in the field. So we learn a lot. When we have questions here, what about this, what about that, it's good to, like you do at MA or at the training, you get to network and so. Yeah, thanks.
So, Peter, the title is somewhat explanatory, but can you go into a little bit more detail about really what the purpose and goals and objectives of the study are?
Yeah, they want to understand what challenges all the communities are facing in meeting climate challenges. But, that climate challenge is interesting because that means a lot of different things. So they wrote a very detailed scope of work to get the grant. But that scope of work is really broad. So now they're trying to figure out exactly what information. I'll give an example. One thing that we would be thrilled to have is an updated flood map.
Yep.
I mean, for the future rainfall, but, that's probably, too much. Unless the whole study goes that way, that's probably too much.
So increased flooding is a challenge.
Yes.
What are some of the other challenges?
Well, this group's going to focus on culverts and flooding.
Okay.
The other challenges are everything that we deal with here. It's open space and land preservation for all different purposes. It's invasive species.
It's the 6th mass extinction, I assume.
Yeah, it's loss of habitat. I think when you look at the whole watershed, groundwater pollution and stuff that ends up in our drinking water, but also our habitat that we don't really understand is an issue. But that's sort of the challenge is there's a million questions, and if you took a fresh piece of paper, you could come up with about 20 answers to your questions of things we'd like to know. Where exactly are the big wildlife corridors, where, what happens when it rains, and these stormwater systems that are sized for today's rainfall, what's going to happen 10, 20 years from now? Is it going to have massive, water pollution and hurt the fish, or is everything okay? I mean, there's a zillion questions that are probably too big for this study. So, I'll update the commission when there's something exciting happening, but at this point, they're looking for ideas, so. If anyone's interested, just tell me. I can send you some info you could read quickly. But think about what sort of information we would like, and certainly more information on how to manage flooding. One more quick thing, David, that came up on the early meetings is more help with grants.
That was my question, kind of like,
Money.
what type of federal money
Yeah.
is out there as far as grant money thinking?
Yeah, and federal might be, the wrong time to ask about that, but let's say down the road. But there's a lot of other grant money. There's all kinds of foundations that have programs that, we could partner with. And that was one of the challenges mentioned. There's just a lot of those opportunities that take time and energy if they could be.
And there's state money
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the update. Regulatory hearings, we have a notice of intent, and the applicant, New England Power Company, 100 Ecuador Road, has asked for a continuance to March 10th. David, as I understand it, we still have not received the
The
peer
peer
review.
the stormwater peer review, correct. And the applicant's also creating a design plan for the
Plantings.
the restoration plantings,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
So
Hopefully 2 weeks.
I think the likelihood is that the hearing will be closed at
Okay.
the next meeting.
Good, okay. Take a motion to continue this hearing until March 10th.
Earl, so moved.
Motion from Chris, do I have a
Second.
second? Second from Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion passes, thank you. Okay, next up on our agenda, we have a discussion. This is a buffer zone violation at 233 Mill Road. The representative for the property owner is here on Zoom, I presume, on Zoom?
I think both the property owner and his representative
Oh,
are
good,
here.
okay, great. David, do you want to start talking about this for a moment? Set it up?
Yes, I'll just give a quick background on this. So this was originally brought to my attention by the building department, who cited the owner for a violation for not getting a permit for the retaining wall that you can see on the plan. Apparently, the retaining wall was of such a size and a height so that the building code did require a permit from the building department. So the building department issued a cease and desist and asked me to get involved because ultimately, if and when the permit, they did issue the permit, I would have to sign off on it. So one of the building inspectors and I went down last fall and looked at the site, and I did see wetlands. So there are wetlands clearly within the buffer zone. So I directed the owner to hire a wetland scientist to delineate the wetlands and have a surveyor put them on a plan showing the wall as well. So that's been done. You see that in front of you. So you can see the wall is clearly in the buffer zone to the wetlands, actually quite close to the wetlands. I believe that, and I'll ask the owner and his representative to confirm this, but I believe that there was also fill that was brought in and placed behind the wall, certainly what it looked like to me when I was down there. So, Luis, why don't you and your representative take it from there? Can you give a little bit more background?
Have they unmuted? Oh, hello.
Yeah, hi, Louise, you need to unmute yourself. So good evening to everyone. My name is Charlie Yamamoto. I'm a project manager with Alphone Properties. Louise has been working with us for about a decade as our electrician. So just to give the story on this, he bought the house and started doing a lot of work on it and taking permits on his own without hiring a company for it. And when he decided to do a retaining wall, he was unaware that it needed a permit. He didn't know the laws and the codes, so it wasn't something that he did knowingly. Right, and then as soon as he got the cease and desist order, he contacted me and said that he had done something that was not according to town and if I could help. So I started talking to the building inspector and I explained to him that a couple of things there were done incorrectly and what would be the best way for us to remedy the situation. So he asked me to do an as-built of the wall of what's there now, and as said before, to hire the wetlands to engineer to see everything where it was, and also a stormwater management plan, which we have hired the engineers for it. We're waiting for them to do that. Unfortunately, this was all done about a week before Christmas, so it was a little hard to get anybody on the field and anybody that would do the work quickly. So right now, our situation is we're trying to remedy the situation and see what the building department would like us to do in order to set this right. The plan that you have now is the retaining wall as is now. Most of it is about 4 feet. There's a very like a 10% of the wall that goes about half a foot over 4 feet, and pretty much, I'm waiting for the stormwater management to be done, which is the last thing that the building department has asked, to see what you guys would prefer for us to do in this situation.
Okay,
So, thank you, Charlie. So
thank you.
there are a number of issues here. I would say, first and foremost is that the wall and some of the associated work is within the 25-foot no disturb setback from the wetlands. For this to be approved, obviously, the commission would need to grant a waiver for the wall and the fill. And I think, as the commission well knows at this point, there has to be really good reasons to grant waivers for work in the no disturb setback. Certainly not obvious to me what those might be. Charlie, what is your client's ultimate intention? Why is this work being done?
Go
My idea was I had a dream to put a pool. I was in a process to hire like a pool company in order to install a pool in the property. So the idea would be do the retaining wall in order to level the backyard. And the guy, I was told that we could use all of the loam that when we dig for the pool in order to backfill the terrain. So that was the idea, to put the pool and then make the lot a little bit more leveled.
Okay.
So I think the bottom line is that commission needs to decide how to address this situation. The way it's been done in the past, I don't see it doing any differently, is that the commission issued enforcement orders to require that the area be the work be undone and the area restored back to what it was originally. In this case, it would be to remove the wall and restore, whatever vegetation was there originally. Then above and beyond that, there's the issue about the remainder of the buffer zone and that work, and how should that be handled administratively? Is that an additional enforcement order? Well, should be part of this enforcement order. Is it a second enforcement order that has its own requirements? One of which could be the filing of an RDA or a notice of intent for the pool. But I don't see how the commission could really justify leaving the wall and the area within 25 feet of the wetlands disturbed the way it is.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So I have worked with this type of situation before, not in the case of something being built, but we did 3 years back acquire a special permit in Newton with a very similar situation, and the way that it was settled there was they actually allowed us to build something a little closer than usual, but we had to hire an arborist, and a study was done in what native plants were supposed to be there. At the time when we acquired the property, there was a bunch of invasive species there, And we did a work where we removed all the invasive species, and we were given a list by an environmentalist of what type of plants and flowers and how many of them were needed in the area of the wetlands. And we were also responsible for maintaining those plants, making sure that they all survived within a 2-year period. Last year, that actually got extended to 3. So I just wanted to throw that out there that I've seen this being dealt this way. Maybe if you guys were in accordance, that it could be done as well as here. The area where we worked this was 3 years ago, and the wetlands there, a couple of plants did need to be replaced. A few, within a 2-year period, but right now, all of them are surviving, and it did not do any harm to the wetlands. So it was just an idea that I was thinking if maybe we could get a study done the same way in this case
Okay.
to avoid removing or replacing the wall.
Thank you for letting us know what you have done in the past. Let me ask the rest of the commission what your thoughts are. John, do you have some thoughts? Let's just go around.
Well, we try to stick to that 50-foot mark. Okay? We've bent things in the past. So, I don't know if it's a way to square this off. I don't know. What do you think, Dave? I mean, looking at it, is there a way to?
Let's go around. Yeah.
I'll just respond. I think that first and foremost, you need a reason to justify the waiver for working in
Okay,
the
all right.
25-foot no disturb. If they had done things in the right order and applied to the commission before they built it, I think that's what the question the commission would have. Why do you need to go that close to the wetlands for the work you're proposing to do?
All right, okay, yep.
Okay. Anything else, John?
No, I want to listen.
Yep.
Can you just explain what the wall is exactly? Is it big blocks or is it small blocks? Or how's the retaining wall constructed? Oh, wait.
It's it's
It's on the
one
GIS, yeah.
the small blocks. 1 by 9.
What are the sonotubes behind it for? You've got sonotubes behind the wall?
Yeah, the contractor, he convinced me to put the sonotubes to make it easier if I decide to put a fence in the future, but they're for nothing.
They're not part of
they're-
the wall. They're just for a
They-
future fence on top of the wall?
Not on top of the wall, because the wall are blocks,
Yeah,
those pre-made blocks.
yeah.
They're behind of the wall.
So behind the wall, you'd have a fence.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, they could move it out of the 25-foot without a big, I mean, it'd be a job, but it wouldn't be crazy to ask them to do it, so I could kind of lean towards getting out of the 25-foot and restoring that area,
Okay.
unless there's a good reason or a not to, but I can't see one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
Mark?
was looking at.
Yeah, go out of the 25.
Yeah. Looking at conservation view of this, yeah, it should be out of 25 feet. You bring a material in? Did you say material was brought into the site?
Not yet. We were going to backfill, the back of the wall with the
Cool.
This one.
the pool.
Okay,
When we
I
did
guess
the
what I'm
foundation
trying to
for-
get in great detail, I don't want to see anything brought into that area within 25 feet.
Yeah, no, there's nothing there now.
Yeah. Is this wall legal? I mean, it's right against the property line there. 'Cause
That was
I mean,
another
the-
concern of
my-
the building department.
That's the building department, I know, right.
My next door neighbor has the garage, in the, right in the,
On the line.
almost on my property, He has a shed, in the wetlands as well, and nobody's, nothing about that.
Okay, I guess what we want to do is get this back to where it was, replicate it, whatever required.
Okay. Chris?
You know, I mean, I think what I'm hearing is, mistakes were made. I think we have to correct the mistakes, remedy what went wrong. And I think the commission will need a restoration plan to restore things back to the way they should be. And I think we need to look closely at the restoration plan, but I echo my colleagues that 25-foot no disturb zone is really very, very sensitive to us. Yeah, I think we've got to come up with have the applicant here come up with a restoration plan to rectify things and fix the problems.
Okay. Ally? Same. Peter?
Yeah, 25 foot is important. We also have a 50-foot no build we ought to talk about.
Yep.
We kind of skipped over that. I do like the idea of restoration and/or mitigation, but one of the challenges is, we don't allow fences in the buffer zone unless they have a critter passage underneath it in the regulations. So just keep in mind, a big wall blocks one thing we're here to protect, which is wildlife that travels between the wetlands and upland. And I know it's a yard, and I know it's a busy street, so I mean, we can think about that. But it does seem important, and I guess the last thing I would say is if you look at the town water resource map, this is actually connected to some pretty important waterways in town. So it's not an isolated, I was hoping it would be an isolated wetland, but it is connected. So,
Okay.
Carl,
Yeah.
what I'm gonna suggest is they come back with a plot plan of where the pool's gonna be. Okay, in the yard. And we can look at the 25-foot from there and go with it. You know what I mean? They're gonna have to come back, because they're gonna work within 100 feet.
Yeah,
Anyways.
I think what you're saying is kind of where I was going, which is, I think if your ultimate goal is to have a pool in there.
You're gonna have to come back with a plan.
Then come back with a plan that shows the pool.
pool.
And run that through the building inspector, run that through David, and that process.
Dave.
That being said, at a minimum, what I'm hearing is restoration of everything in the 25 and likely 50-foot is also, if that can be worked in with the bigger plan, that might be okay. But if you can't even do the bigger plan, then you're gonna end up with, I think, just the restoration.
Well, and maybe this would be an incentive to the owner, but if he can keep the pool and everything necessary for the construction of the pool outside the 50-foot buffer zone, that's an exemption under the regulations. So he doesn't even have to see the commission for that.
Okay.
But, I'd need to see a plan. I mean, if they say, well, the retaining wall is needed for the pool, that could probably go along with the exemption. If he says, well, the retaining, I want the retaining wall for some other reason, even if it's, more than 50 feet away, but it's still in a 100-foot buffer zone, maybe that's an RTA. But I think that might be the best way to go, all around.
Yeah. So does that make sense, Tarly and applicant, or the owner?
Yeah, so we can prepare proposed plans for a pool within the 50 buffer zone, and if we could,
Without.
I think you
get-
want to be outside the 50-foot.
without, sorry.
Yeah.
And if we could get permission from you to maybe redo the wall outside of the 25-foot zone, I think that would be the best possible outcome for Louise.
Well, the wall is a build, and the inside the 50 is a no build. So that's where it's gonna be
Need a
very
waiver at
difficult.
that
You
point.
need a waiver there, so
Yeah,
we're not ready, we're not at all prepared to say that here.
Just though to try and be sort of, objective about this and, apply the regulations correctly. It's not clear to me anyway if the no-build setback pertains to a retaining wall. Because it's
Oh, okay, good point.
not really a permanent structure like a house
Good,
or.
good.
I mean, there's a definition of what a building is, so it wouldn't
Good.
meet the definition of a
That's-
building.
Good
Right.
point.
I mean,
Good point.
that's
Yeah,
not to say that the commission would automatically allow it.
Right,
If
right.
it was between 25 and 50 feet. It may need a lot of review, but I don't think it's automatically disallowed due to, with the no-build setback.
I'm not an engineer on soils, but putting a pool in where this retaining wall is and all the soils, there's a lot of load going there.
Yeah.
This is not a simple, I'm not in the building inspection department, but that part's gonna be a challenge right there,
We gotta see the plan.
so. So I think what I'm hearing is, come back with a full plan, but in the meantime, know that we're gonna be asking for, at a minimum, the 25-foot, no disturb to be, repaired and restored.
So I think the thing to do is to issue an enforcement order.
Yep.
And I can put in the detailed requirements for the enforcement order. But yeah, it's going to be remove the wall outside, at least outside the 25-foot no disturb. I think it's a little bit of a risk if you leave it within the 50-foot setback. So I'll leave that up to you. Or the commission could say right now.
No, I don't wanna do that now.
Okay. So that be one part of it is remove the wall from the 25-foot no disturb setback and restore the area that's been disturbed within the 25-foot no setback, which I think probably almost all of it, back to its original condition.
Okay.
So remove the wall or relocate it?
I would.
Important distinction.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I would say the safest thing to do is to remove it and not relocate it. Unless, I would say, per John's suggestion, you could come back, I guess, with a plan showing the pool, but I think from the commission's perspective, the highest priority is, get the 25-foot no disturb restored. That's the highest priority, and a commission's gonna need to see a plan for that before it approves any other plans.
Yeah, that's our jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Would you be okay if we come back with a plot plan with a proposed pool and a proposed relocation of the wall outside of the 25-foot, and we can go from there? And if you think it's too close, we can, redo the proposed plans, because we're not going to do anything until a permission has been issued. So I completely agree with you guys with the restoration of within the 25 feet. That makes complete sense. But would that be okay to come back with a proposed plan for the pool with a relocation of the wall outside of the 25, and you can look at it and decide upon that?
Yeah, you can certainly do that, but,
Would that be an NOI at this point?
maybe. But the commission isn't going to make a decision on that until it approves the restoration plan, and maybe even that the restoration has already started. You can certainly make that,
Good faith effort.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it is safe to advise the applicant that if the pool was completely out of the 50-foot
And the retaining wall.
and the other work we discussed,
yep.
you're probably in good shape here.
Yep.
Is that fair?
That-
Great shape.
Yeah, I don't know if there's room for that,
Well,
but
that's-
that's,
all right.
yeah.
Right.
Depends on how big the pool is.
Okay,
I guess
yeah, Mark?
about 6, 8 months ago, I think it was, maybe a little longer, there was something similar to this on Smith Street. And we wouldn't let the applicant do anything else on the property until he removed everything that was in violation
Yeah,
I think that ought to be done first.
yeah.
Get everything out of it, nothing gets done other than getting everything out of 25 foot and maybe a little bit more. No machines in there, nothing.
Yeah.
Do it all by hand.
Yeah, so we need to see a plan, and then, which would meet the,
I just wanna-
David will write up the enforcement order.
So let me make a motion then, all right?
Oh,
So
okay,
I
all
make
right.
a motion then that we issue, that the commission issues an enforcement order, all right? The enforcement order is gonna will require a restoration plan. And we're gonna have a condition that the wall, part of that is gonna be that wall is gonna be removed from the current site and be proposed to be outside of that 25-foot no disturb zone.
Right.
And that furthermore, we need to make sure that whole area, the 25-foot area, is restored back to the condition it was before any work was done.
And to Mark's point, we need a work sequence for the removal of the wall.
Yeah,
That
without
needs
further
to-
disturbance, yeah.
I don't want to see any machines in there.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have a condition basically that there be a work sequence listed, and we don't want any
I don't think the
machinery
wall's
in that
built
area.
yet.
You don't think what?
The wall isn't built yet, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Oh, it is
Yes.
built?
oh, yeah,
Got a picture of it.
yeah.
Oh,
And,
It's-
and Chris, back to your point, restore the 25-foot zone, can we define the word restore?
Back to its original condition.
Yeah, I
So,
think that's what I said, back to its original
yeah,
condition.
so a little bit, your consultant's your wetland consultant's going to need to do a little bit of historical research, which I think is certainly possible to go back and look at aerial photos prior to this work being done and see what was it like? Was it forested? Was it lawn? Was it, shrubs? So it's going to have to be, like an in-kind restoration.
Or just propose some wetland plantings like the project that was mentioned in Newton?
Yeah,
Well, but if it was forested, I mean, if there were like 10 trees out there, don't you want those restored?
good
Fair
point,
enough.
good point, yeah.
Okay.
We didn't remove any trees.
Okay,
Good to hear. Good, that makes it easier.
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But to David's point, the wetland expert should do a little historical
Yeah.
research and
I mean,
document.
whatever restoration plan you propose is going to have to be justified with evidence,
Yeah. But they know that.
Yeah.
They know how to do that.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Do I have the
Okay.
motion? Do we need a
I
second?
have a motion from Chris. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. Further discussion, all in favor? Aye.
Right.
Motion passes unanimous. All right, so I think you understand what needs to be done. You can certainly connect with David to
So-
get more detail, but David will,
Yeah, so you'll have to wait until I get you the completed enforcement order. I'll try and do that by the end of this week. I'm really busy tomorrow, and I'm not going to be here on Thursday, so I'll just get to it as soon as I can.
Okay.
thank you very much for working with us. Appreciate
Yes,
it.
Thank you.
Thank you for the help, guys. I
Thank you.
appreciate the everything there.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks. Have a good evening.
You too.
So,
Okay, let's see. Next up is just the, just nothing on continual business. I'm on the wrong sheet here. Land management, so conservation site updates. Peter, Thanksgiving Forest, we had fun out there that day last week. Wasn't that fun on,
I don't think I did any work. It's a good story, if you guys haven't heard it. Really, Carl, you and Jeff, and to some extent Dave Sperry, organized a team to install 4 wood duck houses in the pond at Thanksgiving Forest. It's the Russell Mill Pond. And it was kind of neat, because there were 3 members of the land trust that own the shoreline where we were putting the houses. And Concom had you and I, Carl. And Bill Dowling was there to help out.
couple of neighbors and.
Ken Dews was there from Land Trust. We had 3 from Land Trust.
Yeah, Becky. Yeah.
And Jeff, our land steward, thank you again, Jeff, if you're listening, did a marvelous job. He built these wood duck houses using some recycled or some lumber that was identified at Warren Pole that Becky Warren thought her grandfather had maybe not milled on the site. It wasn't clear, but it definitely was old
Yeah.
lumber recovered. And they were put in with critter guards to keep raccoons from stealing the eggs. And just putting cameras on some of them and
See how it goes.
hatch some wood ducks.
If you don't know what wood ducks look like, they're beautiful, and go find a picture. They're really one of my favorite ducks or birds.
But they make an absolutely crazy noise. when they're-
But they're very shy.
It's not loud, though, the
Very
noise.
shy.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's loud.
Oh, okay.
It sounds,
How's the Fisher Cat house doing?
Well, it's not up in the tree yet.
No.
No,
Oh,
it's up.
there's two of them. There's
No,
one
there's
down the
two.
ground.
Yeah, one's
They're
still
both
not
now?
up, but the one that's up, there's a fisher that has
Has-
been
right.
poking her nose in there, and
Yeah.
she's gone in.
Did you see
She's
the
got some
videos?
video, Yeah,
The beautiful, clear footage, yeah.
yeah, it's
Do they
pretty cool.
nest in
Yeah,
it?
so the,
Do they nest?
Yeah, and this is
Yeah.
the time, February is
Yeah.
when they nest, February,
Yeah.
March.
So you put another box up? Another
there's
one up?
two,
At
but
some
one
point
is,
there will be,
one's
yeah.
up and one's on the ground,
Yeah,
right?
the weather didn't get us,
Right.
didn't help us on the
Right.
second one. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
It's good stuff.
but it's interesting, Bill, because obviously these critters find hollow spots in trees and whatnot, normally. And that land has all been changed a lot, so the question is, that we don't have the answer to, but the question is, do they need a little extra help? And fishers are considered in decline in the Northeast for a variety of reasons, including our favorite, the rodenticide poisoning thing. But, I don't think the biologists are really sure exactly why. So we know that there's a broad need to support some of these critters, so here we are. And I don't think there is a duck hunting season in Chelmsford, so I'll just mention that, 'cause there is in some locales.
Anything else, Peter, on Thanksgiving?
And, I'm sorry, yeah, nothing else I have on the Thanksgiving itself, yeah.
Ally, anything at
More snow.
Lime Quarry? Yeah.
There's people out there though. They're
Yeah.
walking dogs and all that, but
Yeah.
nothing crazy going on.
Good. Chris?
No, Crooked Springs looking nice, but yeah, lots of
Okay.
snow.
Yeah.
There was a few people sledding today out at Red Wing.
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
Nice, good. Bill?
Yeah, Coolest, they're just still doing a lot of work out there, the volunteers. They had a sledding day. People go out there on their own, but they had a specific day where they had sledding, and
Nice.
they had quite a good amount of people showed up for that. It was on Facebook, and you had a lot of people out there, actually filled up the parking lot,
Good.
more or less. But that was very successful. They're planning on something possibly with the vernal pool to go discuss how that works and what that's all about.
you mean
This
something
week,
something educational?
pardon me?
Something educational?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And then last weekend, this past weekend, right before the snow, I think there was 8 people out there near the vernal pool area, pulling invasives out of the trees and they're trying to get as much stuff as they can so we can burn in the spring. We have a burn pile for the invasives and the junk. So they're trying to get it ready because the town's gonna come out with a water truck so that we can burn it. So, lots going on.
Good.
Yeah,
Hey, Bill?
yes.
I'll tell you, I don't know who else to tell. I was thinking of a really cool event on that vernal pool. If you time it right, that's the question. You can hear the wood frogs. I call it quacking. And I realized, once I figured out what the heck they were, that my whole life I had been hearing wood frogs, right? Making that sound, a little bit like a mallard quacking.
Yep.
I realized my whole life I had heard it here and there and just assumed it was a duck, and it wasn't. It was these hardcore vernal pool species. That would make a good little
Yeah.
They
coffee
just-
event or
if you-
something.
If you get
Yeah.
close, they stop quacking right away.
Right, but there's a
You have to be-
distance thing.
You have to sit still and
Yeah.
listen.
They may be a bit delayed this year.
Yeah, it might be,
Yeah.
might be May or June, no.
Right. But no, lots of good things going on.
John, anything at Trestle Mill?
Snowman melted.
No.
in the middle of the pond, it's gone.
Now there's gonna be a new one.
Oh, I don't know, yeah, with the amount of snow we got, I don't know.
Cool, all right. I don't have anything at Cranberry Bog or Wright or Warren Pole. As far as I know, everything is good. I haven't been out there in a while, but unless anyone knows anything, but it seems good.
Oh, can I just ask that we put on the agenda with just the Oak Hill, the
Beaver Dam?
Beaver Dam?
Yep.
Just so we stay on top of that, once the weather gets better.
Okay.
John, that you might be interested, you probably know this from a kid, the Mill Pond, Carl brought a ice fishing auger to, get these
Yep.
posts for the end.
I'm practicing for Maine.
Yeah, so, but he had good practice because you had a double layer of ice you ought to describe. I thought that was
Yeah, that was interesting. You get through the top layer and.
Which is a foot.
And then there's like maybe a few inches of water, and then there's another layer of ice on the bottom in the muck.
So the main ice on top was a foot, but it was suspended, which makes sense because the water's draining out of the thing and not much water's coming in. So that's the safety question. A foot of ice, I think, is probably fine if there's space underneath it, unless you're walking around and you get to a spot where, so it was interesting to see that.
All right, that's it. Anything else? I don't see anything else on our agenda. We don't have any meeting minutes right now. I know Vivian is all over it, but we'll get them.
I thought I sent the ones from the first week of January, but apparently I didn't, so you'll have them tomorrow.
Okay, all right, we'll get it. So, I will say, March 10th, before our meeting, David and I will be attending a Chelmsford Civics Academy, presentation. This is the town is doing this to help folks in town understand parts of the government here in town. And we'll talk about conservation for about 15 minutes, and then Mr. LaValle will talk about the planning board, and then there's a couple more, but then David and I will come over here and come to the meeting at 7. So anyway, we got a little slide presentation to talk about what conservation is and how it fits in. So
Feel free to attend.
feel free to attend, yeah.
Where is that?
Well, actually, they want you to sign up for that, so,
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
Is that in this building or
No,
something?
I think it's in the police
The police training room,
building,
yeah.
in their training room or something like that, so.
It's that, 6 or 8 week formal civics training course.
Did you already do yours?
Yeah, town clerk office was the first night.
Yeah, okay.
Any troublemakers?
Did you do a skit?
Other than me, no.
You didn't do a skit? No? Oh.
All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Motion from Chris, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.